Hi, welcome to the Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 4, Face the Strange review. And I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers and all the people who comment and share the video. I'm so grateful for even the small amount that I've got. So let's take a look at this episode, and I want to say, when Discovery hits the mark, it hits the mark. So where do I start with this amazing episode? We have time jumps, we have references to old episodes of Discovery, we have character build-ups of these different characters, reanalyzing of the show and the way that it handles connections and the way that Burnham relates to her crew and the crew relates to each other. We have Rayner softening a little, we have Stamets sort of realizing he softened a little. It was really just an overall really interesting, and I want to say I was kind of sad watching it because I've been with Discovery on this journey. Discovery was the first Trek of the new generation, and it felt a lot like we'd finally sort of hit a point where the show was okay, it was good. And this episode emphasizes how much it's changed. We saw Michael Burnham, although I don't think she was as aggressively violent in the first season, but she looks like she faces herself. The time jumps cause them to see the future where Discovery's been abandoned and the Federation's been destroyed again. I wasn't really fond of that. I was like, really? I am pretty sure going to see the Breen at the end of the season. Another reference to them. There's been one in pretty much every episode. Michael Burnham and Rayner are jumping in time. Stamets apparently can jump through time too because he's got tardigrade DNA, which is a really sort of deep cut. You have to be watching Discovery the whole way through. We get to see Discovery in the future, Discovery in the past, Discovery in the present, how the crews relate. The fact that they decided to just to fix the problem on the jump in the past was an interesting one. The basic gist of the episode is Locke and Maul have placed a small little temporal Krenim bug, which is a reference to Voyager I didn't know I needed. Well, obviously the Krenim are still around in the Temporal Wars, which is interesting. I certainly think that using them as a technology, it's a little tiny spider bug which was placed on Blue or Adira at the last episode, and it attaches itself to the power ship and then creates sort of a temporal jumping point. It basically to disorientate the crew until they give up, and it just rips the ship apart. It's an interesting build. We obviously get Stamets, thankfully Stamets, because Stamets worked out the problem. And we get a lot of talk about connections between the crew. Rayner and Michael. Rayner, very much at the beginning of the episode, doesn't understand why. He thinks that connections to these people on the ship is a weakness, that it can cause problems. And Burnham's going, no, it's us working together in this way as a strength, and it allows us to move further. The episode analyzes how that moves forward and how that changes. And my general gist of Rayner is he is actually, I want to say, the audience of Discovery, and it's almost like he's the audience and the creators, because he points out some of the things that the fans point out, and then Michael sort of rebuts with stuff that the story writers want, and what we get is almost an admittance from Michael that maybe that connection with the crew is not a good idea all the time, and it does cause problems, but overall it's been a strength. We do get to see how Michael was unsure, and how she doesn't know if she was ready to be a captain. She didn't think she would be a captain in series 1, and that's the feeling of a lot of fans, or older fans of Star Trek, who they don't feel Michael Burnham earned the place. References on Tired Trekker on TikTok talking about how Michael got promoted too early. And it very much feels like in this season, this is Michael's trial by fire. This is her showing someone showing someone how to be compassionate and connecting with the crew, while Commander Raina shows her how to be more pragmatic and be more logical in her attempts to do things. And it's an interesting blend. It's a really fun mix, because I think Saru and Michael's relationship was too brotherly, sisterly for a commander and a captain. Either way around it goes. I think Saru was a better captain, but it's a really fun way of analyzing the show while doing new stories. There isn't a clue this week. We just get locked in the time thing and they have to escape it. Maul and Locke have obviously used this to trap them so they can get ahead. They found what I think we'll find next week is that might be the week we get our mirror episode, mainly because they disappeared. Their warp trail disappeared, and I think that's what's going to happen. Overall, this episode was far better than last week. I felt much more of a connection to it. I actually got depressed, like when she's convincing the crew that they can do what they're meant to do, and we have Airiam come back, and I'm sitting there and she's talking about how Airiam meant so much and she's sorry, and I don't know if I believe that Airiam would go, okay, well yes, I would do that, and then completely come over. But at the same time, I think it's a nice nod to the discovery of the past, and a nice nod to a character who, although they made out, and I've said this before, although they made out she was amazing, I wish we got more with her, because she was an interesting character. She did have an interesting background, but then she was murdered by Control. But seeing season 2, I almost thought we were going to see Captain Lorca. I was like, oh my god, Jason Isaacs. But no, he was on an away mission with Saru, which is a nice way of not getting the actor back. It was honestly a really great episode. I would give this an 8 out of 10. I had feelings in this episode. Last episode just felt a bit padding. This one very much felt like they were trying for an analysis of Discovery, an analysis of Michael, an analysis of Raina. Stamets is a good call for Raina because, and it's nice to see that they're bonding, because Stamets started off as a dick, and now he's really loving, he's really kind, he's kind of a father, and him and Culber are in love, and I really love that aspect of his story. I like that they're using that progression and Michael's progression to kind of show Raina, like, look, this is amazing. We had Tig Notaro pop up, and she keeps popping up for like these 1 or 2 scenes, and then she fucks off again, which is great. I love her, but I wish they just gave her more substantial stuff to do. But yeah, it was nice seeing the old Discovery uniforms. It was nice seeing them in dry dock when the ship was being built. I wish they'd shown the outside. Why was it built in San Francisco? Anyway, we won't even get into that. But what did you think of the episode? I found it genuinely, it hit me on all the right heartstrings. It was a fun little romp, very well structured, and overall it did what it was meant to do. It moved our story, moved the emotional story of the season forward while linking to the main story of the season, while building our new character up. It's a fun episode. I just wish that we would have known Airiam better for that moment to step in, but it does like hold in really well. Although Michael's wig, when Michael is fighting Michael, the wig doesn't, like, I was trying to work out where is this. This must have been like early season 1, and Sonequa Martin Green's face doesn't look the same, but at the same time it is the same. It's just age. But because it's been 7 years, what people don't realize is although Discovery's had 5 seasons, it's been around for 7 years. And I actually think this is the only episode of Discovery where I feel it's genuinely an exploration of Discovery as a show, and very much a last season episode. You couldn't do this in the first season, but in the last season with all of our history with the characters, I think it's genuinely a well-written show. Very well acted. Raina and Burnham, Sonequa Martin Green and the actor who plays Raina, I don't know his name, have a really good chemistry, and I think that the characters play well off each other, and she's right at the end. They do play well as a team, and I like the way that Michael admits that sometimes having that emotional connection can make things hard. Obviously, referring to Booker, but like admitting that she is wrong to Raina and Raina admitting that he sees the virtues in what she's doing is just an amazing analysis of Discovery overall. That you need a mixture of emotion in both. You can't have one or the other. Which is what a lot of Trek fans miss. Discovery does overemphasize emotion, and I think they're acknowledging that now. I think they're saying, look, we probably should have been a bit more professional, but this is how we like it. And to be honest, I prefer Discovery. I think Discovery, not just it's the name of the ship, it's discovery of what it is to be human, the discovery of your personal self. And I think that is the only Star Trek show that does that. What do you think? Make sure to write it down in the comments, share. Thank you very much for watching if you've made it to the end, which I really doubt you have because I am very dull. Anyways, have a good night. I've been Trek.